So last week we talked about the history kan of computer evolutions, and then we go into what is ethics. So ethics is meaning doing the right things. People are rational and make free choices, and rules to follow in our interactions and our actions that affects others. And there are two different perspectives of ethics, which are fundamental, like law of science, rules that we make up, law of football. So that's what we covered last week. And there are varieties of ethical views. Ada negative rights, we have positive rights, and then we have golden rules, we have contributing to society, we have social contracts, and a theory of political justice. All right. Okay, so there is no simple answer on ethics. What's wrong, what's right, kan? So basically, human behavior and real human situations are complex. So there are often trade-offs to consider. Sometimes in situation A, the right thing to do is A, but in a certain situation, the right thing to do is B. So again, that is quite, you know, it's not easy to say that what's right and what's wrong in certain situation. It's just that for us Muslim, it's very easy to differentiate what's wrong and what's right, because we have the Qurans. Okay. Anyway, so the organizations have ethics. So usually, organizations have their own rules and policies and regulations, and then we are, as people in the organizations, are the person who are responsible to make actions based on the guidelines or rules or regulations that are being determined by the organizations. Okay. So again, ethics, like we said earlier, it can be right, it can be wrong, it can be okay. So you can't say everything is right or everything is wrong. Okay. And then you must also be able to distinguish from wrong and harm. For example, harm does not mean unethical, like we said, like via tax. Okay, it causes harm, financially harm to certain people, but it doesn't mean that it's unethical. Okay, so again, you have to be able to separate goals from constraints. Okay, and then there are ethics can be somewhat personal preference. So you can't force everyone to agree what you believe is right. Okay. And then there is law and ethics. So again, what is lawful might not be ethical, and vice versa. So in Malaysia, if you are caught doing drug trafficking, kalau your drug trafficking to reach certain amounts, you'll be sentenced, you'll be given death sentence. Kan? So is it ethical to punish a human that way? But it is correct. There is a law. It is the right way to do. It is the right thing to do. All right. Okay. So let's go into what is computer ethics. So by definitions, computer ethics are known as standard of professional practice, codes of conduct, aspects of computer law, public policy, corporate ethics, even certain topics in sociology and psychology of computing. The efforts of professional philosophers to apply traditional ethical theories like utilitarianism, Kantianism, or virtue ethics to issue regarding the use of computer technology. And computer ethics in the broader sense can be understood as that branch of applied ethics which studies and analyzes such social and ethical impacts of IT. Okay, so macam, wow, my God, what is this not talking about? Alright, so basically, computer ethics by definition, it's not like macam ethics kan. We talk about ethics just now. Ethics can be right, can be wrong, kan? But in computer ethics, dah ada certain standard. Okay, and then when developing computer ethics, these professional philosophers, they adapt all these traditional ethical theories. So ethics ni, it begins with studies by theories by utilitarianism, Kantianism, and some other virtue ethics theories lah. And then okay, because computing is so large, Okay, computing ni is very broad. We have many parts of computing. Even if you look at our faculty pun, we have 3 departments of computing. Intelligent system, information system, information technology, computing network, and computer science. That alone shows that computing has many branches. And how computer ethics going to study different branches of computing. So that's why there are many applied and many branch of ethics. You guys can hear my voice okay? Ke dengar bunyi hujan yang kuat?
Can still hear your voice,
Alright,
but
okay,
I
so
can
it's
hear
loud.
the rain as well.
Okay, so let's go into, so today what we're going to see is the historical milestone in computer ethics. So beginning in 1940s and 50s, satu professor in MIT, okay, he was the one who began to study the root of computer ethics. So during his in his research, so masa tu kan in 1940s, people are all about computing, computer technology, but they never really see there's the needs of studying computer ethics in computer technology. Okay, so this is the man who actually sparked the idea that technology must include ethics. Okay, and then he also published a book, The Human Use of Human Beings. Okay, you all lagging ke okay je?
Okay je, madam.
Okay je, madam. Saya tak pakai ni tau. I'm not using Wi-Fi. I'm using cable sebenarnya for this laptop. Right, so Weiner's foundation of computer ethics was very far ahead of its time pada masa itu, because people cannot process. They cannot process that there's a need for computer ethics in computing. To them, it's just about the evolution of technology. So because of that, his ideas on computer ethics was ignored for decades. Okay, so on his view, the integration of computer technology into society will eventually constitute the remaking of society, the second industrial revolution. So at that point, people cannot accept that. They don't even see that this is important actually. But now you see that it's actually happening. Ethics, the integration of computer technology dalam society akan mengubah, and it's actually changing the way we conduct our daily life sebenarnya kan. Okay, in 1960s, Don Parker of Standard Research Institute, SRI, in California, he began to examine the unethical and illegal uses of computers by computer professionals. So he published an article on rules of ethics in information processing, published in Communications of the SEM in 1968. So he also headed the development of first code of professional conduct for the Association for Computing Machinery, ACM lah tu. Okay. In late 1960s, Joseph Weizenbaum, a computer scientist from MIT, he created a program that called ELIZA. Okay. So in his experiment with ELIZA, he scripted to provide a crude imitation of a Rogerian psychotherapist engaged in an initial interview with a patient. So from there, it was found that people deeply emotionally involved with computer, sharing their thoughts with it. Okay, so computer is not just computer, but actually people are very much involved with computer. So that is actually new finding lah in 1970s, yeah. And in 1970s, Walter Manor from Bowling Green State University in Ohio, he's the one who started using the terms of computer ethics. Okay, so he managed, perhaps at that time, people already realized the importance of ethics in computing. So he actually managed to generate interest at university level on computer ethics courses. So he conducted various workshops and lectures at conferences across America, and many university courses on computer ethics were being developed and conducted because of him. Okay, and many important researchers, scholars were attracted to do more research on computer ethics. So by 1980s, so there are a good number of social and ethical consequences of IT becoming public issues in America and Europe. So this is when actually people started to realize the importance of computer ethics in computing. And then in 1980s, in mid-80s, James Moore of Dartmouth College, so he published a very influential article on what is computer ethics. And in 1991, Bynum and Manner convened the first international multidisciplinary conference on computer ethics, which was seen by many major milestones of the field. So in this conference, it brought together philosophers, computer professionals, sociologists, psychologists, lawyers, business leaders, news reporters, and government officials, and many documents, important documents on computer ethics such as monograph, video programs, curriculum materials were generated from this computer ethics punya conference. Okay. So in 1990s, new university courses, research centers, conferences, journals, articles, and textbooks appeared, and wide diversity of additional scholars topics become involved. So this is where computer ethics semakin berkembang. Okay, Simon Rogerson of the Montfort University established Center for Computing and Social Responsibility. So mid-90s is the beginning of the second generation of computer ethics. Yang sebelum tu is more on creating awareness among people, among scholars, researchers, publics, government officials on the importance of computer ethics. So according to Moore, computer revolution is occurring in two stages. The first stage was that of technological introductions. Computer technology mula-mula being developed and refined. So this is like took place in America during the first 40 years after the Second World War. Okay, and then the second stage is what we call as technological permeation. So this is where the stage where technology gets integrated in our lives, okay? In our activities, in our social institutions. So because of technology is there, is part of our life, it changes the concept of some money, education, work, and fair elections. So basically, even up until now, we as humans rely heavily on computer technology, and it defines the way we see things. For example, health, wealth, opportunity, freedom, democracy, knowledge, privacy, security, self-fulfillment, and so on. Right? So this is how actually computer ethics are beginning to bloom, and then how it's actually become an important field in our lives. All right? So far, you have any questions?
No, madam.
No, madam.
So the rain is so loud, I cannot hear your voice. Alright, I put some questions on Microsoft Teams. Yeah, I have to stop sharing this.
Saya tak dapat masuk ke Teams.
soalan quite simple, very direct, but you have to go through the notes to answer the questions.
Ada. Ida.
Yes, Adha, your question.
Man, can you hear me? I don't think you can. Can you hear me?
Jauh, ini jauh.
Okay,
I have a
alright.
few of
I'll type it in.
kuat sangat kan? Yes, yes, you guys have to fill up the questions. How come they cannot access it? Have they requested to be in the Microsoft team? Muhammad Irfan Shafi. Okay. Can I have Muhammad Irfan Shafi punya?
Ada.
Can I have his nombor student? Okay, I have added Muhammad Irfan in the group tau, manually. So I'm gonna add Putri Syaidatul. Okay, all added. The rules now you are already in the team.
Actually, madam, I tried to insert my answer, but I can't. But I can edit the answer. I can edit the question.
Sekejap. Sekejap because I don't see anybody answering as well. Sekejap. Okay. Alright, now I can see responses.
Guys, cuba klik link yang saya bagi tu dekat chat.
Alright, for those who have responded to the questions, you can leave the session. Okay? So sini ada Iqbal, Nazmi and then Abdul Hasib. Apa dia? Anonymous itulah sebab mula-mula tu I did the setting anyone can respond. So bila I change to anyone in my organizations, then baru dia collect names. So anonymous is you Amirul Hafiz. Alright, so you guys can leave the session. Thank you. Selamat berbuka.
Thank you, madam.
Welcome.
Selamat berbuka juga.
Iqbal, apa ni ambil jumpa orang?
Ha?
Apa ambil jumpa orang ni Iqbal?
Oh yeah.
Okay, thank you madam.
Thank you, madam.